Welcome back to another episode of Right Here in Mass. Joining me today is Kevin Lopez, who serves as the Executive Director of Hoops and Homework, bringing over 15 years of experience in nonprofit leadership and community development. Kevin is committed to fostering positive change and empowering youth and families through innovative programs and strategic initiatives. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. For our listeners tuning in today, Kevin has a very extensive and impressive bio that you can check out in the show notes. But Kevin, I'd love to start off by having you share more about yourself and what you do.
Okay, definitely. So I can start off with like my track. And I took a very non-traditional track to get to where I am now. I've always been sort of community minded and community focused ever since I was a little kid. And that has to do with my faith background. So growing up in the church, and the church being my community for such a long time and me wanting to do a lot within the church space. Um, had me, like I said, do a lot with the groups, helping out the leaders, etc. And then outside of that, um, I pretty much just try to get involved in as much as I could. I'm born in Framingham, and grew up in Natick, Massachusetts, and then attended high school at Keefe Tech, in Framingham as well, where I studied graphic design. I played sports there, was involved in as many extracurriculars and school activities as possible, just trying to make the best use of my time there. Um, and after I graduated, this is where sort of the non-traditional track came into play. Um, I wanted to be a police officer. I studied criminal justice for a year and a half at Mass Bay. It didn't work out for me, as at the time I just needed funding, right? I needed funding for myself, funding for the home, trying to take care of helping my parents out at the home. And I started working back at the school I graduated from. So I started working at Keefe Tech as a coach, as an aide. I was there for a good number of years, 12 to 13 years before I transitioned to work for a leadership organization. Did that for a few years, found my way back to Framingham, um, and youth development sort of in my thing.
Mhm.
Worked for the local workforce board, um, with some career development, internship building, and connecting with companies and businesses in the area for youth. And then hoops and homework sort of, this opportunity came, saw it, posting. It's literally, and I'll talk a little more about it further down the road, but it was an opportunity where it allowed me to give back to the neighborhood where I grew up in, and was able to serve, and literally, um, where I would play, where I would meet my cousins and my friends to hang out. And it's a great opportunity for me to be able to do what I do.
Yeah, I love it. And from what you've shared, it sounds like it was really a full circle moment, right? Like you, as you said, had grown up in Framingham. You had always been very involved in your church and your community and being a coach, bringing in the sports aspect. I mean, it's really wonderful to hear that it was likely meant to be like that divine timing that made you see that job opening and being able to apply. And so I'd love to hear more about that kind of how it came about and what made you realize that being the executive director of Hoops and Homework was really the right fit for you.
Yeah, full circle is, it's a great way to define it. It was, looking back at it, and I've done a lot of that, just perspective, and seeing where I was, and where I am now. Um, Definitely all the pieces fell into the right place. Um, so there's this organization founded in 2012 by Herb Chasen. It started off as like a traditional after school program, drop in, um, and it morphed into what it is now, where it's really homework focused, academic enrichment, reading assistance. We have staff that help the kids out with, um, you know, anything under the umbrella of school, right? They come after school. We shut down the place for about an hour, and they focus on these things, right? And that sort of hit home a lot to me. I didn't really have a place growing up where I can do that, outside my home. My mom, my dad worked full time. My mom was a traditional stay-at-home mom at the time. Um, and I had four other siblings that were at the house. So for me to come home after school, I was sort of on my own,
Mhm.
to try to figure out homeworks and projects. My mom did what she could, and my dad was coming home a little too late because when he came home, we ate and off to church we went, or off to whatever activity we had planned, etc. But there was not a real place where I can come together with some friends, a place where I can come be myself, um, and take advantage of services or support, right? So when this opportunity came around, initially as a program director, I reached out to the board as they posted, and I had the conversation of like what they need, what was the need for this area. Um, they gave me a clean slate to sort of paint, blank canvas to paint what I envisioned, based off what they already had going on. Um, and with the support of the current staff, it's grown to be what it is now. We have 40 kids on a day to day where they come off the bus and they receive whatever we have for them here. Um, it's just been a blessing. It's been, like you said, full circle, coming back to the neighborhood where I grew up in to serve and meet the needs of the kids and the families, right? One of the biggest things and biggest challenges I found and I've seen as an experience in the city is that a lot of times, a lot of us in these positions, we're telling families what they need as opposed to listening and really identifying and meeting the families and children, where they are and and giving them what they actually need, not what we think is the right thing.
I love the way that you phrase that about being able to listen to what these families and youth need and then being able to find the solutions for that rather than assuming that you think you know what they need and then kind of trying to guess. And so, based off of what you shared with that, I'm curious to hear what some examples of that might be. If there were certain things that many families and many youth were looking for that Hoops and Homework with them was able to help make happen.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the things that I can highlight right now, um, is there's a misconception, right? Where we're located. Traditionally, it's low income, underserved population, and a lot of times we view that as they don't have these opportunities or they haven't seen X, Y, and Z. When in reality, they have. We just have to ask those questions, right?
Mhm.
Um, and I'll give you, like I said, a quick example. They were excelling or not excelling, but participating in an arts program. They loved it, right? But they were doing it for a while. And instead of me coming in and just continuing, um, I sat down with the kids and the staff and figured out if they wanted to continue to keep going with this. And they all shared the same sentiment. It was great. It was fun while it lasted. Um, but now we want to do something different, and we morphed that art program into a piano program where the kids would receive piano lessons, and learn like the essential ABCs of playing the piano and music theory and how to relate that to body movement. And we partnered with Integral Steps, um, uh, a um, music education program. And they were able to do that for us. And the kids, we're 4 years in, the kids are loving it. But after these 4 years, I'm going to sit down with them again saying, hey, do you want to do this? So this is just a small example of that, right? Um, where that art, aspect was huge for me because I needed to see what else they wanted to do. If not, they'd be stuck doing the same thing over and over again. People get burnt out, people get tired, so do kids. So I was really trying to get that.
Yeah, and that's a good point that you brought up about people getting burnt out and tired. I mean, especially if you have kids or students who are in the program for several years at that point, they might be looking for something new. And so being able to, like you mentioned, approach them and your staff about different programs or offerings or activities that you could bring up, I think is a really great way to keep people engaged and make sure that they're getting what they need.
Definitely. Definitely. Yes.
Yeah. And
Um,
so when you joined Hoops and Homework, I'd love to hear how things have changed throughout that time. I know you mentioned, of course, being able to have that blank canvas that you could really do what you wish ultimately with the program and with the nonprofit. So I'd love to hear some exciting things that you've been able to implement and bring to the table.
yeah, I came in at a challenging time. It was post-COVID. It was 2021, right? So it was like
Yeah.
everyone was trying to figure out how to move around that time. Um, so I think one of the biggest things was trying to, we're an enrollment-based program. So kids have to sign up and be enrolled. But one of the things that I've seen change is number one, enrollment, right? We went from having, we operate out of two sites, and we went from having programming where 10 kids were at each site to now being at capacity, so 20 and 20. And capacity regulations only allow us to have 20 at each site. So just there, I think the expansion of partnerships and community um, volunteers that come in to help us out. Um, we're partnering with a huge list. And for the sake of not forgetting anyone or leaving anyone off, I'll just say it's a huge list of people. Um, Look at our website. You'll find them there. But definitely they come in. I want to say Monday through Friday. There's always someone in here helping us out aside from our staff. Um, and it's just been such a increased uh, learning experience for the kids and a quality experience for the program in the last 4 years, especially after COVID. We try to do a lot of virtual programming, remote stuff for the kids, try to figure out how we can incorporate different things. But uh, like virtual burnout is real for the elementary school age.
Yes.
They were all done with it. And it was what else we added? So our hoops and homework name had some basketball elements, and it was paused for a while. And in the last 3 years, we've been able to sort of bring back the hoops element and have tournament style basketball camp program in the summer, free for anyone that signs up in Framingham, where the month of July is comprised of clinics and skill building. Um, Mentorship by the coaches, the ability to work as a team, like I said, team building. But then also in August, we turned that into like a mini season with a championship at the end. They receive trophies, etc. It's just uh, that aspect has grown, and a lot more is going to come out of that.
Yeah, and that's really wonderful to know that you do have that summer offerings because I know from what I've heard that something that can be a little bit difficult with the after school programs is that they end when school ends. And so being able to have those basketball tournaments throughout the summer, I think is a great way to keep the kids engaged and also, like you said, make sure that they continue to have that space that they can go to be involved with their youth, their age, and everything else.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Speaking of the summer, right, where you said it ends, we run 4 year programming, right? So it morphs into from our traditional 3:30 to 6:30 program Monday through Friday to a 9 to 4 program during the summer. So, and that runs all summer long.
Yeah, and that's amazing because I mean, as everyone sees these conversations online about parents really struggling to find childcare options during the summer or ways to keep their kids busy and engaged while they're working and whatnot. And so being able to have that 9 to 4 time frame, like you mentioned, I think is really great. It provides a solution for keeping kids active and then also really benefiting those working parents.
Definitely. One of the things I do want to highlight, you mentioned about childcare is our design of the program. Um, Even though we're enrollment based, um, we are also privately funded or grants or private donors. That's how we run hoops and homework, right? So it's not like we're relying on a steady stream from the state or the federal government. Um, and we try to eliminate that financial barrier that a lot of these families have. Um, every student here is either on a child care voucher or they're on a scholarship, 100%. Um, we try to eliminate that for families. So parent fees are either at a very, 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 very low cost, essentially zero, or it's at zero,
Yeah.
depending.
And that's amazing because I mean, I don't have kids, but have talked to friends who have kids, and they all say how summer camps can cost thousands of dollars in the summer. And how is that possible for families who might not have that financial privilege to be able to put their kids through those summer camps? So I think it's really, really incredible that Hoops and Homework is able to work with those private donors or grants or funders to be able to bring these opportunities to the youth. Yeah, I love that. And so at the time of this recording, we're in the first few months of 2025. And so I'd love to hear any new and exciting programs or offerings or initiatives that might be coming up for Hoops and Homework throughout the year.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things that we've also been proud to own is um, our teen program. So there was a gap that needed to be filled in this area, right? So our program runs in the afternoon for 5 to 14, right? Ages 5 to 14. And I saw that after either they aged out at 14 or just in my walks around the neighborhood or drives in my neighborhood, I saw a lot of teens just hanging out after school. If they're not involved in clubs or sports, or any other extracurriculars. They're just hanging out. We developed a program called After Hours for our teens, where they literally come after our afternoon program ends to hang out. It's a drop-in model, different from our enrollment model. So it's a drop-in model for the teens. They come and hang out. They receive mentorship. We have staff here that helps them with homework. Different community partners come in for some panel discussions, etc. They go on field trips, learning experiences. Um, as right now, they're exploring video production with Access Framingham here in the city, and have been working with Framingham State University um, for a college mentoring program, sort of getting them ready for, life leading up to graduation and then after. Um, so we call that after hours, like I said. So that's exciting because we're expanding with more teams. We started off with two the first year. This happened in 2022. And now we're up around 15, 16 teams that attend 3 days a week at our after hours program. So we continue to expand, continue to offer all these things for them. We have, in addition to our piano lesson, we're adding a dance element. We
Oh,
piloted it.
fun.
Yeah, we piloted that last year. The kids had a blast. So this summer, again, we're going to add the dance element to it. Um, every marathon Monday, because 135 is literally a stone's throw away from here. We have what we call Hoops Corner. So all our families, all our kids, we go there to cheer them on. Signs, we go crazy. We have our shirts. And then um, Nike has been a new partner for us lately.
Oh,
Um,
amazing.
yeah, so they have been sending some volunteers through their community program to just come and play and mentor our kids and talk to our kids. And I don't know if you get the theme, but mentoring is huge and for this age group and for our teens and to see people that are close in their age modeling positive behavior and a positive outlook on life and how education's important, how community action's important, civic learning is huge, etc. So all these people coming in to do all these things, and for 2025, 3 months into it, the completion of 3 months at this point, we just want to continue to grind away to make sure these kids are in a good place to receive a lot more of this.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you brought up that mentoring component because that's one thought that came to mind for me is that you've likely seen so many, I don't necessarily want to use the word success stories, but so many like wonderful outcomes that have come from hoops and homework with the youth who are a part of it, whether it's like building confidence or making friends, or like you said, the program that you have with Framingham State to help them get onto that college track with the teens. I mean, you've probably experienced so many amazing benefits of just seeing the youth go through these programs that you offer.
Definitely. And it's rewarding, right? Just
Yeah.
watching it happen like naturally, organically, allowing them to um, you know, really request a lot of these things that are going on in hoops. And I'll hang my hat on that too, where a lot of the programming that we roll out is student led in the sense of them requesting or them asking. So
Hmm.
to see, you know, X student or X kid ask for whatever and then have them participate and then the solution or the success story, like you said at the end, it's super rewarding for them, for us, for the families. I will tell you that we have currently on staff um, 5 former hoops and homework participants.
That's amazing.
So it's like, and it's something where, it's near and dear to my heart because they come back and ask if they can come work
Hmm.
and help out and volunteer. So we developed the junior leader program. So if you age out at a certain age, you're able to come back and volunteer. And then we bring you in as a staff once you develop those skills to work. And they do a great job. They know how to move around this neighborhood with the kids. They know how to draw that line in the sand of like, hey, listen, now I'm an employee. I'm here to help you even though they're from the same neighborhood. So it's been sort of unbelievable, a good ride, definitely.
Right. And it's, of course, a true testament to what you and the organization have built. If you have five staff who are former hoops and homework youth, and like you said, that junior leadership program of youth being able to participate in that and volunteer once they kind of get to a certain age and whatnot. I mean, it's just obviously goes to show that all of the work that all of you have put into it is really making a difference in the community.
100%.
Yeah. And I know you mentioned that being able to see what has come out of this for the youth has been super rewarding, but I'm curious to hear any other parts that you've really loved about your time at Hoops and Homework or what you've really enjoyed the most about your position.
Um, I don't not like coming to work every day. I love coming to work. And the way our program's structured, I'm alone in the office most of the time. I'm the only full-time employee. We have a bunch of part-time employees. Um, but there's nothing like opening the door once the kids start coming in and seeing the smiles and then like them being like ecstatic to see the other staff and see each other. Um, and that's sort of like my highlight daily.
Mhm.
From time to time, these kids, they come up with, I'll give you a quick example. They come, they're coming up with a play right now, or they were, on their own. They're trying to develop a they're trying to screenwrite a play. It's essentially like another version of Moana. It's just this is them doing this on their own, and they got a supply list for me to buy like some um, some stuff to put this play on for the families and the kids. But it's just them sort of being creative thinkers. And
Mhm.
that's what I love, right? Is when they knock on the door and, hey, can we talk to you about an idea we have? Um, and if you check out the website or if you checked any of the videos out this past summer for the basketball tournament, they developed their own like cheerleading group, dance group. It was just this is something that like brings a smile to my face every time I come into the office. I know that they like I'm waiting for like 3:30 to roll around for me to start hearing them and me open the door and enjoy them as they come in.
Yeah, so it obviously sounds like they have a lot of fun, and I think that's great. It's something that, like you mentioned, not only you look forward to going work every day, but they look forward to coming to the program every day. And I think again, that's just a testament to what you all have been able to build, where they're genuinely excited to have this after school program that they can be a part of.
Definitely. And not just is what they do fun, it's the people that are around them, right? The staff that
Yeah.
is working here is awesome. So I can't say it enough. And what I tell my staff is that it you can tell you're doing a great job when the kids want to come back and when
Hmm.
they're excited to be here. And you know, they just again they're just so energetic and ready for the kids, and the kids they give that right back. It's good times here.
Yes, absolutely. And for anyone listening to this episode who may also be interested in pursuing a career path working with youth in their local community, what advice would you have for them for just being able to enter this space and work with this demographic?
Definitely, you have to have the right heart to do it, right? There's a lot of people that enter the space and they expect something different, right? This is not
Mhm.
corporate. I just want people to understand that it's not a corporate mentality. This is not for profit. So your paychecks aren't going to come huge depending on where you're going, right? Just different nonprofits that might be a different story for. Um, but have the right heart, the right mindset, be willing to get your hands dirty, because it doesn't matter, you know, in what role you're in. We're all here to do the same thing and work for the community, for the kids, the families, the youth, to make this the best experience they can have.
Mhm.
Um, but definitely pursue it. If you have the heart for it, educate yourself in the sense of, um, you know, sometimes if you're working in childcare, you want to educate yourself there, behavior management, et cetera, not getting into the nitty gritties of curriculums, but um, definitely, follow your heart, and you usually be all right in nonprofit if you follow your heart.
Yeah, that's a great advice. And one of my favorite questions to ask our guests is what their favorite local businesses are to support. So I'm curious to hear the places that you like to frequent or shop or anywhere in the Framingham or Metro West area.
Yeah. There's a lot of them, definitely. I mean, growing up around here, there's a lot there, down Route 9 and but I will give a shout out to Ashland Ale House. They're a good community place. They're right over the Ashland Framingham line. They do a lot for Ashland community, a lot for us. Um, and great staff, great people. I'm over here free promotion, but besides that, other places to frequent. I mean, the Natick Mall's right there.
Mhm.
Shoppers World. Um, yeah, just all good places. I do want to also shout out the community partners. One of our biggest partners is the Framingham Public Schools in their district. Um, can't say enough about them. They really help us out a lot when it comes down to, because the element of education is so huge, especially for us when it comes down to homework completion and assistance academically. We got a good tie there where we're able to reach out when we can and when we need to receive any kind of feedback to help us help the kids.
I love that. And for anyone listening who wants to get involved with hoops and homework and support you, whether it's financially or whether it's donating their time, would you be able to give an overview of how people could get involved and provide support?
Definitely, yeah. You could on our website, www.hoopsandhomeworkinc.com. There's tabs there for you to and links for you to follow to get involved. There's multiple volunteer opportunities we offer, from facilitating activities, some one-off stuff, to like sustainable seasonal help, um, to donating financially, human resource if we got an event for you to show up and just help there, or just sort of like at minimum, If you like us on our social medias, you'll find those links on our website too. Posting or reposting or sharing the good things that are going on here.
I love that. I'll put links to your website and social media profiles in the show notes. That way our listeners can easily click through and connect with you from there. But Kevin, I want to thank you for coming on today's show. It was really great to have you talk about everything that you're doing with hoops and homework and the important work that's involved.
And thank you for the opportunity.